Chapter 10: The Development of the Self. Working on yourself involves learning. You are never given answers. Even if you choose to work on yourself, there is no guarantee that you will find the answer that you want to find. You will learn about yourself. That knowledge can bring action. You can find balance. You get better at being you. More importantly, you are more than you were before. You grew. No one could have done that for you, and no one can take that away from you. That is why you are special. That is why you are unique. You were handed a problem from your unique perspective, and you worked with it. Whether or not you realize it, there is value in that. To quote Michael Tessarion, "The world is the whetstone that we use to sharpen our consciousness." Every problem you face is an opportunity. Your only opportunity to grow is to face a problem that you don't know how to resolve. A person who never struggles is a person who never grew. They stay the same spiritual age their entire lives. They never had to reflect, but they are still capable of reflecting. They may have been born with immense talent, but they never had to stretch themselves beyond that talent to meet the requirements to succeed. Even this person has a choice. They can choose to engage in activity that is challenging to them. Doing so would be a testament to their character. Being proactive about developing yourself appears to be uncommon. If you do choose to engage in difficult challenges, you may be surprised at how other people may question your motivations or misinterpret your actions. There are plenty of people who do not attempt to develop themselves. From their perspective, proactive personal growth is unthinkable. They tend to project their motivations onto you. Why would you be trying to grow? The only reason they may be able to think of is that you have lost your mind. They may ostracize you for not conforming to their way of life. In the 7th grade, I decided to be a vegetarian for an entire year. I did it to see if I could do it. I did it to see what would happen. I was told I would become weak. Adults and peers alike urged me to reconsider my decision. I was accused that I was only doing it for attention. My friends would try and put meat in my food while I wasn't looking. They succeeded a few times. Comments about how I broke my code to be a vegetarian followed. A part of me was amazed to see this side of people. What I realize now is that my actions led them to reflect on their own behavior. They would never put themselves in a challenging situation like that, and this bothered them. Remember cognitive dissonance? The ego needed to resolve the issue. I became an enemy. The ego knew who to attack. Their ego needed to project their source of discomfort onto me, so they could ignore the source of the discomfort that was emanating from themselves. The ego can suffocate growth at the expense of protection. You have a choice on whether or not you let your ego make decisions for you. The ego will always have a voice. Part of growing is to be able to distinguish that voice from your voice. That takes work. It isn't easy. The benefits are great, though. I want to give you an idea of what it's like to have your ego in balance. Every now and then, someone will insult me. My ego immediately speaks up to let me know that this person is a threat. The ego is working with what it has. There once was a time where we all lived in tribes. If enough of the tribe ostracized you, you would be thrown out into the wilderness. You would die. Being insulted is death to the ego. It's okay, ego. We understand you now. Thank you for the warning. I appreciate it. I love you. I will make the decision on how to proceed. I see the person as angry. They are scared. Their insult has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with them. I am free. I am at peace. I smile. There is much to be said about the development of the self. It never stops. You always have room to grow. You can't grow someone else. As Porter Stansberry said, there is no such thing as teaching. There is only learning. Just because I write a book about everything I would have wanted to know doesn't mean anyone will learn from it. My recent experiences have shown me that if you ever want to successfully influence others and inspire growth within them, the best tool that you have at your disposal is to continue to work on yourself. Others may not admit it, but they will see what you are doing. At the very least, you give them something to mimic. You are a real live superhero. Being you and facing your problems is your superpower. Do not underestimate that power. Working on yourself will eventually bring you to the sometimes confusing notion of selfishness. Let's clear up that confusion.